Alrighty, everybody. Hopefully, everyone's having a good day so far. It is June 1st. Fuck, it's already June. Hope everybody is having a great day. I did not take any trades today. Didn't really see any, confident setups today. So I stayed patient, was on live for around 2 hours, didn't take a single trade. That's okay. Looking back at the action already, there was one trade that I did end up missing that was a high quality setup. I want to look back at it, see maybe the reasons why I was a little bit skeptical on it, why I shouldn't have been, what was the outcome of it, and then just overall looking at the price action, and then we'll jump into what I'm going to be looking at going into tomorrow. So going into today, didn't really have a strong bias, and the reason is because ES was in this 50%, right? We've now retraced back to discount. We're inside this 1 hour fair value gap. Now that we've retraced to this, I could definitely see a bounce to the upside, but I could also see lower because NQ hasn't gone to discount. So we could have gone either which way today. What I was looking for, though, is I was looking to see some sort of liquidity sweep, whether that be on the 15-minute or whether that be buy side or sell side. Now, I think I failed to notice this internal level sweep on ES. I wanted to see this external low being swept, but it looks like on ES, we actually ended up sweeping this 5-minute low. Again, we had our clear buy side level. All of this generated buy side liquidity. We had 1, 2, 3, 4 relative equal highs up here that I knew was going to be an area of buy side and most likely going to get hunted. Now, the trade that I ended up missing was on ES. We can see ES swept that level. We had a clean break of structure right here. Looking at the 5-minute, we zoom out. We have a 5-minute fair value gap. Pull back to discount. This now becomes silver bullet. Inverse fair value gap as well as this fair value gap. This would have been a nice long targeting that buy side level. Failed to really recognize this. I think I was too zoomed in. Or actually, I was kind of... I wanted to see this external low being swept. I think that's why I didn't have as much confidence. I didn't like trading the internal level. I wanted to see that external level get taken first before seeing that move up. And that's why I was a little bit skeptical on taking that trade. But this was a good setup. Again, everything that you want to see. We have, liquidity being swept. Zoom in. We have a clean break of structure with big displacement, right? Big move to the upside. Pull back into that 5-minute fair value gap. We get internal break here. Move up. Fair value gap created internally. If you don't enter in here, you can wait for that initial move up, then wait for that fair value gap. This would have been your long, targeting that external buy side level, and then we ended up pretty much just trending the entire day, but we did not take out that high yet. So no really other plays today that I've seen. This was pretty much the only one. The rest of the day, there really wasn't anything. There might have been maybe a scalping model, so we can check. But again, a lot of the action just doesn't look that. It looks pretty flat. So we can check if there maybe was a scalping model potentially. I don't think there was. Let's see. Low created right here. Did we take out that low? I think we created equal lows. So technically, no, that wasn't a scalping model. Anything else? We put in a low here. Did we sweep anything on this? Not really. So yeah, no really setup, honestly, the rest of the day. Again, just big trend move up. Not a lot of volatility the rest of the day after this early morning session. Just pretty much slow grind the rest of the way up. So looking at just ES here, going into tomorrow, what could we possibly be expecting? Now, again, clear drawn liquidity is still these equal highs up here. We have big buy side level. We've retraced back to discount. We have sell side of the curve, now buy side of the curve. What would I want to see? Want to see us honestly come back down to discounted area. So again, if we zoom back out here, if we go to like a 1 hour, I'd want to see us retrace back to discount of this range. So let me go to a 4 hour. We can see we have this 4 hour fair value gap now playing out. We'll see if I can zoom in here and see anything more exact in this area. We can see we have this 15-minute fair value gap here. Maybe 30-minute is more better. I like this 30-minute. I'm going to draw this in here. So we have a 4 hour fair value gap under this low. And I'm also going to watch this 30-minute fair value gap here as well. And I want to see if we can come back to discount, maybe form some sort of bullish internal structure once we get down to here, and then look to reverse this towards whatever that buy side level is. Now, if we end up taking this before tomorrow, right? Or if we end up taking this in the overnight session, I'm going to look to take some sort of, I'm going to be short bias going into tomorrow, looking to take this reversal back to the downside, right? Once we sweep these equal highs, I want to see how we react. Once we show that reaction, if we continue to move up, if we either reject back to the downside, that's going to give me my bias depending on how we react at that level. So again, a lot of my bias is going to depend on what happens when I wake up tomorrow and I can see what we did in the overnight session. If we do end up opening above this level, I'm going to be pretty bearish going into the open. So looking at NQ now, NQ, same exact thing. Had to move down, big move back up, breaking structure. Would want to see a pullback to at least discounted array, have a fair value gap here, and then bounce to either take that buy side level out or take, equal lows on here. Notice we have honestly, like 4 relative equal lows here on NQ. So I'd want to see this become the draw once we sweep this, right? So of course, what I'd be looking for is pull back here, generate liquidity, move up towards buy side, internal, come back down, and then go to sweep those equal lows. Any questions? Not really a lot happened in the charts so far. Again, a lot of the structure starting to form since we've been having a lot of big rally days recently. Now we're starting to get some more consolidated moves, which honestly I like. I don't like when we get big kind of expansion moves like this. So I want to just let the structure keep forming and definitely have some high quality setups for us in the future once we continue to form this kind of structure. Love how you speak pure info. Much love. Let's be patient tomorrow. Yes, sir. Again, I'm totally fine sitting there and not taking a trade, just like today. If there's no setup, there's no setup. If there's no confidence, I'm not going to have confidence taking a trade, and there's no reason for me to take a trade if I'm not confident. Why not the other fair value gap in 4 hour is more in discount than the other? Which fair value gap? Oh, are you talking about this one right here? If we go to the 4 hour, all it is just, it's one fair value gap. So I'm just making it more exact, looking for something inside this range. Your fair value gap video today was 5. Much love, bro. Yeah, the fair value gap video, I think, is a lot of people need to watch that. Just understanding structure. Are you drawing liquidity based on PD arrays? Yes, and some other liquidity as well, and everything. Just overall structure. Can you just use relative equal high for drawing liquidity? You can, but again, you want structure, right? Because right now we could go either way. We could honestly go dump right back down to these lows, right? That's why I'm not looking to take any sort of trade in here unless I get confirmation. And confirmation, if I was to take any sort, right? Okay, look at this range, right? If I want to take a trade here, there's one of two things has to happen. Either come up, take this high, come down, take this low. These are the highest probability things. If I want to take a high probability setup, I would need to see either us take it this high or us take out this low. If I want to take a little bit lower probability setup, what I could possibly do is see once we then go to discount, I'd look for an internal buy model. Internal buy model, meaning we see internal liquidity sweep, break of structure, then a pullback to fair value gap targeting that high, right? Internal buy model. But there's no liquidity swept. But I have confidence that we're going to bounce because we're in discount and we're in a fair value gap and we've had this big move up. We've broke structure, right? You can pretty much draw break it doesn't matter. All that matters is we have this big displacement. Once we come down to discount and show signs that we're bouncing, then I can look to possibly take a long. It's not like this comes into this fair value gap and then I automatically long. I have to see some sort of sign, and then I zoom in on a smaller time frame, and I have to see us start to form some sort of structure here to then go higher. But for a high quality setup, I'd have to see either this or this get taken. I've been journaling my trade, and I'm boiling down to the problem to patience. I rush too much, but I'm starting to get more disciplined emotionally. Nice. Yep. Again, journaling, that's what's going to do. Understanding what your biggest mistakes are. Your learning curve and your growth curve is going to excel if you journal. Fair value gap between 14324, 14324. Yeah, we could. No. We could come down to this. But the reason I would want to come down to this is because most of the time, all I need to see is discount. Right now, we can come back down to this, but I'm not gonna lie. If we do come back down to this and we have big selling pressure, I would just expect to see equal lows get taken. That's why I don't like trading inside this range. I'd want to zoom in and then see structure start to form, because a lot of times when you start to pick and choose which one gets hit here, a lot of the times you're just gonna get railed. And what action you're gonna get is this. And then you're like, okay, well, now what the draw on liquidity? And then none of these has ever been taken yet, right? A lot of the times when you see something like this and you're trying to decide which one's the draw, you're just going to get whacked sideways. So what I look for is signs of direction, meaning if we do go back to discount, is there signs that we're going to hold and then go higher? Or if once we do this, right, I can look for, some sort of play, right? Because what could happen is we maybe put in a low right here or like a low here, and then we sweep it, and then we get big displacement, and then I can maybe target, this previous high. And then when we come up, maybe sweep this high, and then big displacement back down, I could look to short this. And then we have equal highs up here, and then we come back down, maybe we sweep this low, and then I could target these equal highs. So I'm waiting for more structure to form to then get higher probability setups. Right now, all we have, big move down, big move up. There's not a lot of structure to base really anything off of. That's why I want to see more action. Does that make sense? So the reason why it doesn't matter which market structure shift you have here is because the displacement. It doesn't really matter if you mark it here. It doesn't matter if you mark it here. It doesn't matter if you mark it here, because you're getting the exact same result. You know that there's a market structure shift because of the displacement, right? Since you have displacement, you don't really need to draw it in anywhere specifically. Again, a lot of the times I'll just draw it to wherever the first candle is. So I'll just draw, like, you could just draw it here, and then we get big move up. But it doesn't matter because the displacement, we just have a straight move up. Can you go over breaker blocks for order blocks, or breaker blocks just order blocks that get ran through and become resistance? Or breaker blocks are market structure shift order blocks. So, for example, again, it's kind of hard to find examples. I don't have a specific example unless I see it. Let me see if I can find one. Let me go to ES. I guess you could say this. So look at this, right? On the 2-minute. This is a breaker block. This is actually a perfect breaker block. Whatever the level is that we get market structure shift from, you want to see an order block from this. What's an order block? Big move up, big move down. 2 candle formation, right? 1, 2. This is now a breaker block, but it has to be whatever that high is from our market structure shift. This then gets pulled over, and this now acts as that discounted array, right? So notice we pull back to discount, bounce off this breaker block, 5-minute fair value gap as well. You have all of these PD arrays aligning that we're going to hold this level, right? We're in discount, breaker block, 5-minute fair value gap, sweep of liquidity, big market structure shift, big displacement, clear four relative equal highs up here. This was a clean setup I just failed to see today. Do they have traffic lights in Idaho? Yes. Yeah. Any other questions? Is there a specific point of entry in a order block? No. I mean, normally, so I don't like to take trades inside. I like to see trade order blocks overlap with something that's already giving me bias. Like if I get an order block that overlaps with a fair value gap, then I'll make sure I see it. But a lot of the times I will only enter in a fair value gap. Doesn't take external liquidity, it's lower probability. It depends on time frame, right? Again, remember, time frames depend on if it's external or internal. I could look at the 15-minute right here and say this is external, this is external. this is internal, right? But if I go down to a 5-minute, this now becomes external. This now becomes external. This now becomes internal, right? But look, if I'm looking at this, right? This is internal, external. When would you mark out the entire candle versus just the candle body for order blocks? A lot of the time when I'm trading an order block, I'll just mark out like the top of the candle, depending on what time frame it is. Like, for example, again, everybody kind of draws them in differently. Some people will go like this, right? And just draw like the entire body. A lot of the times I'll just do whatever the top of the wick is, or the top of the body, like this. What would you do if the market took out buy side but continued to go up? Like, I mean, is what you would see the market to go long. Yeah, so once we sweep or once we get up to this level, right? I'm looking for the reaction. I'm looking for either a move backside into this range, but if we continue up, it's either I won't take a trade or I'll look for a scalping model. If I can get a sign that there's a clear trend, right? A clear trend, big volume, NQ is flying, ES is flying, and I get an SMT in favor of the trend and everything that aligns with my scalping model, then I can take a long. But if I don't, then I'm not going to take a long. You're good. Halfway through the fair value gap vid, so far so good. Let's go. All right, guys. That is honestly all I have for you guys tonight. Not gonna have a long session tonight. Let you guys enjoy the rest of your night. I will see you all again. If anyone has any extra questions, always feel free. Just at me in the Discord. I'll get back to you. Enjoy the rest of your night, guys. I will see you all tomorrow morning. Peace. Much love, guys. Much love.